Hey everyone, it's Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist, and welcome to the Mad Science Lab podcast. Today I've got Jesse back with me for the NFL Week 11 Fantasy Football NFC Home Game preview. How's it going, Jesse?
It's going good. I'm also struggling through the disaster that was last night's game for my dynasty portfolio with Andrews and Burrow and Chase and all that fun stuff. So yeah, really reassessing some things over here. But yeah,
I feel you. Between that disaster and like the weather, it's gloomy and cold, and I'm sick and I'm fighting it. Like I don't know how long we'll last. Even I was driving at work and I'm going, like I'm dying here. I just dying. Sound like Adam Azer coughing on his pod every 30 seconds. Yeah, that was messy last night. I don't think I owned Andrews in any league where it mattered to me. Like I think I had him in one redraft league where it's not. I'm not trading him. It's just dead. And I had Sam Laporta anyway, so that's all right. Oh no, that's the league where it was the tight end premium league where I had the tight end multiplier card, and I had Kelsey and Andrews, and I still have Laporta, so that doesn't really matter to me. Burrow hurt. I was planning on having a lengthy playoff run in my main league. I have Lamar and Burrow. Looks like Burrow's gone. It was super flex. Luckily, that's the league where I had to debate between the two of them and Sam Howell last night. And I started Sam Howell and benched Burrow just out of pure luck. So I'm hoping Howell can keep me afloat here. If Burrow's done for the season, this significantly limits my upside here. But I don't feel like I'm going to be able to ride this Sam Howell to a title. I feel like I'm living on borrowed time here. I was hoping to get one good week out of him this week, but I guess I may just be riding with it now. So
yeah, you probably have to see what just see how it works out for you. Basically, it's like, all right, come on, keep passing.
What am I going to do? Like the other options, there's like a couple of teams that are rebuilding. Like I could give up a first round pick to go get Russell Wilson, but it's like,
you don't want to do that.
Might as well just roll with Sam Howell at this point. So
yeah, I got an offer of my late 20. Oh, I'm a contender, so like a late 25 first for Bryce Young, and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to give that up for Bryce Young, which is crazy to think about, but I'm like, yeah, like I need a quarterback, but I'd rather not do that.
Yeah, I think I do that one. So in Superflex, I'm pretty sure there's like 20 quarterbacks I give up a first round pick for in Superflex. Like I probably at this point, I don't know if I'd really want because if I have Howell, I'm just gonna roll with him. But if I don't have Howell, I give up a 25 first for Goff, Baker, even like Carr. Any of that. I don't care at this point. Well, I'm a contender. I need to go here, but don't have to worry about that. I got Sam Howell back 3 or 4 weeks ago for Will Levis, so I'm happy.
No, Quincy would not do that.
What are
there's a difference.
Schultz gets Arizona, which is a juicy matchup. Kincaid gets the Jets, which is
that's not great.
No, I think I would start Schultz.
Yeah, I just like Schultz is in a really good pass offense. It's just he gets boosted. He's just not that good. Like that's the hard part of the struggle with him.
I have them 5-6 with Schultz, one spot higher. I feel like I want to move that down. I don't know. I have Schultz in a couple of leagues where I'm starting him as a flex option over like DeAndre Hopkins, Adam Thielen. Yeah, so I'm high on Schultz. I don't mind it. I think I would start Schultz there.
Yeah, I have Schultz at 9 and Kincaid at 5. But like, yeah, it's just I struggle when it's someone like when I see the talent in these two players, like the difference.
I'm much lower. I'm much lower on Kincaid this week.
Yeah.
The Bills look like shit. The Jets are a tough matchup. I love that matchup for Schultz, and he seems to be a target monster again. I think I would, but I wouldn't fault you if you didn't. All right, I guess we can get into this here. Let's kick it off with Seahawks and Rams. Ooh, a trade has been completed in one of my leagues.
Ooh.
Let's take a timeout. It's not me, I think. I sometimes have so many trades out I forget.
Yeah, me too.
Josh
wait, is it me?
This is Superflex?
How much was it for Dobbs?
Oh, no, this is single quarterback. What pick would you give up for Josh Dobbs in single quarterback?
Like, I don't know, man. They're at least getting production, but in single QB, like I'm not giving up a 2. I really don't want to. I just
he had Burrow is what he had.
Yeah, he had nothing else probably.
Tannehill, Flacco, Heineke.
Oh. Yeah, he had nothing else. I would give up a 3rd in single QB to be fine. It's whatever.
He gave up what at this point looks to be an early 2nd.
What, dude? Why? Wow, that's crazy. I understand the thought process behind it, but it's single QB. Like I'm struggling to even give up a mid-second in Superflex for Dobbs. Like It's literally we get like 6 weeks of production. That's all we're guaranteed with Dobbs. That's it. So like people are talking about a first round pick for Dobbs, and I'm like, you're
I
fucking
don't think
insane.
it's 6 weeks of good production. I think it could
Yeah.
be 2 more weeks of good production, and then we go back to Dobbs. But anyways, let's move on with this. I can hear my kid in the other room yelling at his friend on the video game. It's a PA day here, so bear with me. So Stafford, who I think plays, he gets the 11th best matchup. Gino, who I know plays, gets the 18th best matchup. Having said that, I think I want Gino even despite the matchup, but they're both going to be close for me. If I look, I bet you they're both in the 16 to 18 range for me.
Yep.
They are Gino at 19. Oh, Gino at 19, Stafford at 18. So I have Stafford one higher. I don't think I'm going to keep that. I think I'm going to change that. I want Stafford below Gino, but either way, it just goes to show you that it's basically the same for me here. What do you got?
Yeah, I have Gino a couple spots ahead of you, but he's 19 for me as well. It's like right in that range. And then like once we get to it's like Russell Wilson, Will Levis, Matthew Stafford, and Zach Wilson. And I'm like, I can't drop Stafford below Zach Wilson. Like I literally can't do that. I get it, but I'm just not gonna do that. So yeah, I prefer Gino just slightly. I'm very much worried about Gino rest of the season. We saw kind of I think his peak performance last week. But hopefully I'm a little bit wrong, and this offense figures it out, and they're more productive than they are. So yeah, I'll go with Gino just slightly over Stafford dealing with the injury.
Agree. Andrews is out. Kincaid has a bye week 13. Would you trade Kincaid for Kyron Williams? Just sent him an offer. We're tired.
There's obviously redraft, but
so he's trading away Kincaid to get Kyron.
Yeah, that seems like you're taking on a lot of risk with Kyron. We don't know necessarily when he's coming back. Like I think you can still make this move when Kyron comes back. Like I don't think you have to make this move right now.
I don't know. I think I would make this because he still has Schultz, right?
Yeah.
I would start Schultz. You got to do this now because if Kyron comes back next week, the guy who isn't going to want to take a tight end on his bye is what I get this way of thinking. So yeah, I think I would if you're comfortable rolling with Schultz, which I think I am. I think Kincaid's slightly higher rest of season.
Yeah, I do.
I would start Schultz this week, and then with the bye, Schultz has already had his bye. Yeah, I'm fine moving Kincaid for Kyron. The deadline's tomorrow. I'm fine moving him for Kyron if you need running back help. I think Kyron will be back sooner than later, and there's nobody there competing with him. I guess we'll get under those running backs. 5th best matchup for the Rams. I want no part of them. 29th best matchup, so 3rd worst for the Seahawks. I'm still comfortable starting Walker as probably a high-end 2, maybe a low-end 1. I think he's probably going to be 12 or 13 for me. Charbonnet, I don't mind flexing. He's improving. I actually think I'd take Charbonnet over any Rams running back. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go Henderson, but I don't really want any of the 3. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play Henderson over Charbonnet just because that production is like we know what we're getting out of him, and Charbonnet is very much a mystery bag, but they are closer in the rankings. Like I have Walker barely inside my top 20 running backs, which kind of shows you how worried I am with Walker.
I have Walker at 9.
Yeah, like it's pretty low, so I'll probably move him up. But like I'm looking at my rankings right now, and it's like he's like right below Swift, Connor, a couple of those guys. So
you're right though. I have Henderson at 28. I have Charbonnet at 33, Freeman at 38, and Evans significantly lower. So you're right. In the end, I have Henderson higher because of the workload, but it wouldn't surprise me if Charbonnet outproduced him.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like that's definitely in the range of outcomes. I just think if you're counting on production, like you need some type of production, and it's not like a just dart throw upside flex play. Like I'd rather go Henderson. But yeah, you can talk yourself to Charbonnet for sure.
Receivers are interesting. 4th worst matchup for the Seahawks, 13th best for the Rams. So bad matchup for Seahawks, middle of the pack matchup here for the Rams. Kupp is easily my 1 in this. I think. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Hey, Chase, quiet down. Good God. Fortnite is so loud. Okay, so Kupp easily the number 1. I think I've got Nakua easily as my 2 in this game. And then I'm probably going Metcalf. I think at this point I want to go. I think maybe still Lockett JSN, but it's getting close.
So I have Metcalf pretty highly above both those guys this week, and I think this is due to the Stafford situation and what's going on with Stafford. Like
you have Metcalf over both Rams?
Yeah, like that's
good God.
I need to like maybe think about this a little bit more.
I have Kupp at 8.
Yeah.
Cup at 8, Nakua at 11, and Metcalf at 5, and then it falls off a cliff for the rest of them.
So if I'm going by vibes, I very much have Cup above Puka. But if I'm like looking at the data, like Puka's just been better and he's getting more targets. So like moving forward, I'm probably gonna rank Puka above Cup until I see a change on the two of them, which is crazy to talk about and say that we're in week 11. That's where we are. But that's just kind of. I'm really high on Puka Nakua in general, and we've talked about this. Like I'll happily trade JSN for him in Dynasty in a heartbeat. Like I'll make that move. I know a lot of people would not do that, but that's where I'm at with those guys.
I couldn't get that move pulled off. I tried it. I have JSN this week, ranked at 42. There's no way. I think I sent this in one. Keep in mind it's a work league, so they don't necessarily know what the fuck they're talking about. But I sent that JSN straight up for Nakua and got laughed off.
Yeah, I think in like the analyst leagues or people that pay attention more to the data, like they'll definitely take the Puka side. Like it's pretty funny how drastically different those two are viewed depending on the league you're in. Like in my home league, people don't really like Puka. Certain leagues they think he's top 5. So it's very interesting with him. But yeah, I think the matchup actually works really well for Metcalf in this week.
One sec.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, so Metcalf, he's pushing top 10 for me this week. So if you need a wide receiver to start of all of these guys, it's going to be Metcalf. He's been very good. I know the production's been up or down, but he's there. And then you just fire up both Cup and Nakua, and you just roll with both those guys. If you want like Lockett, he's been not as good as he has the past couple of years, but I still like Lockett. He's significantly lower, and he's closer to JSN than he is like Cup and Nakua. So he's more flex range. And then I think where it is JSN's like 50. Yeah, JSN's pretty low. I'm just not there yet.
Moving on, 10th best matchup for the Seahawks tight end for Fant, 18th best for Higbee. I'd still considerably take Higbee over Fant, and I'm not even that high on Higbee. He's probably about tight end 18 for me, so I don't think I'm starting either. Both kickers are top 10 matchups, and I'm not starting either. Both DSTs get bad matchups, and I don't think I want to start either. So tight end, kicker, DST. I think I'm avoiding all three in this one.
Yeah, that just seems like the safest play. If you want some defensive like dart throw upside, you can go after Seahawks defense, but it's been so up and down. Like I'd rather not target either of those defenses.
All right. Wow. Some of these games I look at, ugly. There are no games here between what we would consider two good teams. Like, good God, I'm looking.
There's all the AFC games yesterday that we did.
I'm like, let's pick a fun game, and then I'm like, oh, okay, Giants, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. Gets even worse when you look at the players in it. Quarterback, we start at best matchup for the Giants quarterback, except for the fact that it's Tommy DeVito. 15th best matchup for Sam Howell. I'm all over this. I think I have Sam Howell as 4 this week. And I was listening to Fantasy Football yesterday, and they were saying a couple of them have him at 1 this week and are starting him over Mahomes and Hurts. He is their one. Because I was sitting, and that's what because when we finished the show yesterday, I had Burrow and I had Lamar in, and I had Howell on my bench. And then as I listened, I was like, I don't know. I think I like Howell better. And then I was listening to them, and they're like, I'm like, oh, I wish they'd talk about whether because they're saying, would you start Howell over this guy and this guy? I'm going, how about Howell over Burrow or Lamar? And then they're saying, well, you would start Howell over Mahomes and Hurts. And I'm going, Jesus, okay. I'm like, they're talking like it wasn't even a consideration. So I'm going, screw it, I'm benching Burrow. And that's what I did. So I think I have him at 4. DeVito, I'm going to say I have around 25, 26. So
yeah, he gets a bump, but I have one league where he's basically filling in for players. So he's my super flex quarterback, and I really don't want to play him. It's like him or Jacoby Myers, and I'm like, dude, I might actually have to play him this week just because the matchup's so good, even though it's not great. But yeah, Howell, we talked about this yesterday, where I was like, I'll bench Burrow for Howell. Like we were both kind of on board with that. So yeah, like you roll with Howell. Like he's been fantastic. He's points, man. It's what it is.
QB3. QB3, go figure. At running back, we have 16th best matchup for Barkley, 9th best matchup for Robinson, who is quietly RB6 on the season here, despite nobody knowing that. And that's kind of a problem with some of the leagues. Some of the analyst leagues you can sneak away, but this is the exact opposite problem I'm having in the friends and family leagues, like the non-expert leagues. They're looking at is, oh, he's RB6. Whereas, and it's, it's Brian Robinson. And then like, oh, he's RB6. How about that? Where these guys are, all they're looking at is that he's RB6. I want, this and this. And I'm going, dude, really? Like, if you look, it's 4 monster games and then nothing else. But having said that, I would assume I have Barkley higher, as
Yeah,
terrifying as that is. But
I
I
have very
think
high.
Barkley and Robinson are probably closer in my rankings this week than they've ever been. Where are they? I've got Barkley down at 18,
Whoa.
and I've got Robinson lower than that. Oh, no, I don't. I have Robinson at 17, 17 and 18, and then I don't know where. Gibson's down at 30, so I'm not sure. I don't really love that, but I think I'm still going to leave Robinson because this Giants offense is awful.
It's rough. The thing they kind of almost take on is he just gets absurd volume, and they finally get a good matchup, so he should be okay. He's pushing in the top 5, and I hate that ranking. I'm going to move him down. Like, I just can't do that with him, like where the offense is at, even though it's a good matchup and all of that. Yeah, him and Brian Robinson are closer than I would ever want them to be in rankings, but that's just where Robinson's been good, man. Like, it's hard to fight it. But I think you're pointing out the difference in analyst leagues and like home leagues, right? Where they look at points, and then some people are just like, no, Robinson sucks. He's not good. So they don't value him at all, even though he's been productive.
Yeah. The wide receivers here are both elite matchups. The best one for the Giants. Problem is, who the hell's the Giants wide receiver to play? And the third best matchup for the Commanders, which is much more enticing, means you're firing up Terry McLaurin. He's easily the one for me here. Then I probably would like Dotson next. Pick a Giants receiver for me would be, so I go McLaurin, Dotson. Then I want to go Wandale and then Hyatt Samuel or somewhere in there. I think that's how I rank the 5 here. But for me, it's easily Terry McLaurin miles above anyone else in this game.
Yeah, I think my second highest ranked receiver outside Terry McLaurin, who's like top 9, is John Dotson, wide receiver 38. And then it's Samuel and
I have
Wandale. And
McLaurin
Wandale's
at
like
14. I'm going to scroll down. Your next highest one was where?
Dotson at 38.
Okay, so I have McLaurin at 14. I have Dotson at 38. So
yes,
agreed. Agreed. And then okay, so where's your highest ranked Giant?
It's Wandale. He's 53. And then it's Slayton. And then that's like, I don't even know.
Oh, it's Wandale at 54. Damn, we were almost there.
We're on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not starting Giants wide receiver. Like, I get you can flex one if you want, if you really want to go like Wandale and you trust the matchup, but
I kind of think I can. If I'm desperate, I can play Hyatt. Hyatt seems to me like young Gabe Davis. Like there's always that long breakaway touchdown potential. But
you just have to be okay with a 0 from him. If you're okay with that, then yeah, you can fire him up.
Tight ends are interesting. 25th best matchup for Thomas, so not good. Middle of the pack here for Daniel Bellinger. Bellinger, I was hopeful for. I don't know what he's going to do without Darren Waller in the lineup. I don't mind if you're forced into starting him with some of these injuries. I don't mind him. He's probably tight end 14-ish for me. Logan Thomas, despite the matchup, I think is probably higher. I want to bring it up here, but I would assume, I think I prefer Thomas, but I wouldn't fault you either way. I have Thomas at 12 and Bellinger way down at 17. So I think Bellinger is going to be moving up my rankings over the next few weeks because I think he's going to start producing more, but for now it's not great. Kickers, we've got the best matchup for the Giants. Bullock's only in like his 3rd week with the team and hasn't been good. Middle or low end matchup for Joey Sly, who also hasn't been good. So I'm not playing either kicker. And I'm probably playing both defenses here. It's the best matchup for the Commanders against Danny DeVito. So I'm definitely firing them up. 7th best matchup for the Giants. I know his name's not Danny. I said it on purpose. I'm firing them up as well. I think the Commanders are 4 for me. Giants are 6. So you have 2 elite defenses, 2 potentially low-end tight end ones, and 2 kickers I'm completely fucking avoiding.
Yeah, like I just get worried with these defenses because they're not good defenses. So like they have the floor of just like a shitty like top 25 defense. So just be careful of them. But yeah, I agree. And the tight ends, I'm definitely playing Logan Thomas over Bellinger. I need to see more from DeVito, man. He's a terrible passer. Like it's so rough. Like I have a hard time. But yeah, you could, if you're desperate at tight end, you can stream Bellinger. You just hope it works out.
Next up, we have the Cowgirls and Panthers. Quarterback, fifth worst matchup for Dak Prescott. I don't care. I'm sure he's a top 5 for me. 21st best matchup for Bryce Young. I don't care. He's probably in the 20s for me. I have Bryce Young at 24. I have Dak at 5. I think Dak's an easy start. Bryce is an easy bench unless you have to in a super flex league. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like I don't even want to play Young. And in super flex leagues, like we were talking about, like I really don't even want to trade for him until we just see a better situation for him. But Reich's taking back the play calling duties, so we'll see if that helps him out in this matchup. It's really hard to count anything from Young moving forward besides Thielen. It's just kind of gross, honestly. But yeah, Dak's top 5. Like you just roll with Dak. I don't even care about the matchup. They've been on fire. Like it's just him and Lamb just to the moon is what it seems like. So yeah, you just roll with Dak, no problem.
Running backs, second best matchup for Tony Pollard, 22nd best matchup for Miles Sanders. Sanders, I think at this point, is way down in my rankings, and I probably have Hubbard higher. Yeah. Pollard, you have to play him this week. If he doesn't do something in this matchup, you need to consider not playing him anymore. He's getting into Alexander Madison territory for me. I have Pollard at 7 right now. If he doesn't produce this week, he is going to be falling off a cliff in my rankings. I'm looking down here for a Carolina Panther. It is Chuba Hubbard at 34. Yeah. Ooh, I'm real low. Miles Sanders at 49. So Miles Sanders, who was drafted in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, is now barely inside the top 50 for me.
Mega bust. That's what he is. He's the Mike Davis of previous years where we were trusting the volume and he just sucks. So yeah, I have Hubbard at 29. I have Pollard at like 15, and I don't even feel good about that ranking. And this is like the ideal matchup, right? But it's just
Sanders just goes to show you how good the Eagles' offensive line was.
Yeah, that's the takeaway, right?
But yeah, Pollard I have high. I think I'll probably move him down a bit. I have him at 7, but there's a lot of good players with bad matchups, or guys like A-Chain and Mostert. We don't know how it's going to shake out. Connor, Hall, like there's a lot of murky situations, so I am probably I'm still going to leave him in the top 12, but if he doesn't do something, you have a problem.
It could be rough. Like this is we talked about this last week, it being a make or break. It's like this week is actually a make or break for Pollard. Like I'm just not going to start him if he does not come through this week.
2 terrible matchups here for the receivers. 3rd worst for the Cowboys, 5th worst for the Panthers. CD Lamb is still a top 5. I bet you if I look, he is 5 for me exactly. So I'm starting him. I don't mind flexing out of desperation Cooks. I don't really want Gallup. On the Panthers side, Thielen, excuse me, I think at this point Thielen is a low end 2 for me. I think the sell high window may be closing. And I don't really want Mingo or Chark. So we've got a top 5 here. Thielen probably 2nd for me, and then Gallup way down. I'm going to try and find these guys here. Actually, I have Thielen at 18. So what did I say? Low end 2, more of a mid-range 2 for me. And then Cooks. I don't know where I have Cooks at 45. So a flex, desperation flex, like I said.
Yeah. I'm with you. Like you roll with CD. He's been the wide receiver 1 in usage and in points per game. Like everything's going right for him, because it's weird how they find their best player and they're scheming him plays. It's like, oh, it only took you guys 4 years to figure it out that he's really good. But yeah, Thielen, I think it's going to help moving back to Reich. Like the way they were using him early on in the season it was better. It's obviously still working. It just wasn't as good. So I think we'll see some more regression back to what Thielen was earlier in the year. So he's like 19 for me, and he'll be in that range moving
forward. Middle to low end matchups for the tight ends. 22 for Ferguson, 20 for Hurst or Tremble or whoever the hell the Panthers are playing. I want no part of it. Ferguson, I would bet I have around 16 or 18 if I had to. Ferguson, actually, I have at 12. 13, sorry. So I don't mind Ferguson. He's not great. I don't know. He's very inconsistent. I'm not sure if the ceiling's there, but I would start him if I had to. Kickers, Aubrey's been good. 21st best matchup. Pinheiro has been good the last few weeks, but I don't like him this week. I will start Aubrey. I will sit Pinheiro. DSTs, I'm not touching the Panthers and the Cowboys. I would wager are top 3 for me. They are number 3 exactly. So I think that one's pretty easy. You start Ferguson, you start Aubrey, you start the Cowboys, and you don't touch the Panthers.
Yeah, it makes the most sense. And for Ferguson, like if you're looking for an Andrews replacement, you lost him. he's going to be a cheap guy. Like him and Schultz are going to be the cheapest ones to target that are like decent low end tight end ones rest of the season. So you can go get like those guys.
Next up, we have Chargers at Packers. 28th best matchup for Herbert, so not good. Second best matchup for Love, so very good. I would imagine I have Herbert significantly higher, but I imagine it's probably a lot closer because of the matchup. Well, it's not going to be close, but it's closer. I have Herbert at 9. I have Love all the way down at 17, so I still prefer Herbert pretty handily here, but I don't mind Love as a mid-range QB2 here in this matchup. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I have Herbert at 10, but those spots are like identical. So Herbert's 10, Love's at 17 for me. And he's been like, he's looking a little bit better. We're seeing some positive inclinations from Love that he's not the worst quarterback in the world. So if you have him, you could honestly stream him this week. I don't think it's the worst idea. Obviously, there's a low floor with him, but he's been okay. And this matchup just it's great for quarterback. So I'm fine streaming him if you need to.
Texans Noah Brown is out.
Ooh. I mean, I guess that's just great for Tank.
Sorry, it just came up on my screen, so I thought I'd mention it. Running backs. Good matchup for both. 7th best for Eckler, 6th best for Jones. I'm starting Eckler for sure. Yeah. I'm starting Jones for sure. Kelly, I want no part of. Dylan is more of a desperation flex. I have Eckler at 2, Jones at 9. Gonna scroll. AJ Dillon at 37. So pretty much what I said. You have 2 high-end assets here and a guy who can be desperation flexed, and then I want nothing to do with anybody else.
Yeah, I have Eckler at 6, but I'm looking at my rankings. I'm just going to switch him and Saquon. So he's going to be 3, and then Saquon's going to be at 6. That makes a lot more sense for me. Yeah, like I don't know.
I got Saquon way lower, so that didn't.
Yeah. I was like, we got to adjust some of these rankings. That's a little too big.
I have Eckler below McCaffrey, and that's it.
Yeah, like he's in that top 3 category. I have ETN really high too because the matchups like
I have ETN 3, but
yeah, I think that's a good like top 3 this week. Like those guys, you just fire them up. So yeah, like I'm right there with you. Jones has been good. It's just he never gets enough volume. That's always the problem with Jones. He's always just been efficient, and you kind of know you have like a mid-range RB2. Unfortunately, he's just not the touchdown guy he was past, so he's not that high-end RB1 that he is anymore. He's older, but he's still a good player, so I'm fine. But he's my running back 17, 17, and I'm fine with him there.
Wide receivers. It is the 26th best matchup for the Chargers, so not good. I don't care. Keenan Allen is still going to be top 5 or 6 for me. I can flex Johnston or Guyton out of desperation and just hope I get the right one. On the other side, 5th best matchup for the Packers. Dobbs, Watson, and Reed are all startable for me. I have them all probably ranked in the wide receiver 3 range. Yeah. Not because that's how one of them's going to finish as a high end 2. One of them's going to finish as a 3. One of them's going to finish outside the top 60. You just have to hope you can guess which one it is. I'll look through my rankings here. I have Keenan Allen at 7. Scrolling way the fuck down. Romeo Dobbs is my next highest in the 30s. 37, 41 for Watson, 43 for Reed. So as you can see in most weeks for me, I have all 3 Packers clustered together just outside the wide receiver 3 range. I don't even know where the next Charger is for me. It's Quentin Johnson at 45.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I have the 3 Chargers wide receivers within 4 spots of each other. It's like wide receiver 40 or not through 44. So like those 3 in the exact order you mentioned, that's where I have them. I just don't know what to do with this Packers offense.
I prefer Dobbs by a mile.
Yeah, like he's much safer. Like so Reed had the better game, but targets wise, he was 3rd among these guys.
Going into this one, everyone wanted Watson. I think Watson's my 3rd favorite out of these 3 now. I'd rather go Dobbs, Reed, Watson.
Yeah, like the Reed stuff's weird. Like he just doesn't see enough routes. Like he's the 3rd wide receiver, so he comes in when they throw 3 wide receiver sets. He just doesn't get enough work. It's so hard for him to be above these 2. Like he needs to score a touchdown. I don't know what it is. But yeah, and like Dobbs' usage has been weird the past couple of weeks. He's only had 3 and 5 targets, so I don't feel entirely confident with any of these wide receivers. But yeah, I'll have Dobbs, and I'll definitely prefer Watson over Reed. But I don't mind like firing a dart on Reed if you're confident in the matchup this week with him.
Tight end, 5th best matchup for Musgrave, who I'm playing. I have him at 13 right now, so just outside the tight end 1 range. Bad matchup here, 23rd best for the Chargers. I have Parham ranked higher at this point. I have Parham at 22. No, I don't. Sorry, I have Everett at 19, Parham at 22. So I far prefer Musgrave here, but I don't really love either Charger. Kicker, I'm comfortable starting Dicker, even in the middle of the pack matchup. Carlson, I don't want anything to do with him. Two DSTs scare me. I don't want to start the Packers because the Chargers score too much. I don't really want to score. I don't really want to start the Chargers because the Chargers charger too much and they suck. So I think I'd like to avoid pretty much everyone here, with the exception of Dicker and Musgrave if you need to.
Yeah, like if you're desperate for a defense, if we're choosing between those two, I'll definitely take the Chargers defense in this situation. But we saw the last 2 weeks they put up 30 2 weeks ago, and then last week they had -4. So the Chargers defense is all over the place.
Yeah,
so I'm with you. I'm just firing up Musgrave and Dicker. Like that's it.
Next on the agenda, we have Cardinals Texans. This is great. Who would have thought this would be the most exciting game on the slate? Top 12 matchup for Kyler. Top 6 matchup for Stroud. Both are must starts this week, I think. At least one is. I have Stroud at 3. I have Kyler at 13. I'm going to move that up. I have Kyler at
he's too.
10.
I have him 14. It's too low. I'm like that's way too low.
I moved him above Fields, Goff, and Purdy. I have Kyler at 10.
Yep. Yeah, I need to put him right ahead of Dobbs. So I need to put him at 11. That's where I need to put him.
Oh, I have Dobbs way further down.
You know this, like I'm big on Dobbs.
So, so like I said, it was 3 for Stroud, who's an absolute must start until he comes back and hits that rookie wall. Kyler's probably a must start as well. He's 10 for me. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. Like I'm firing both these guys up everywhere I have them.
Yep.
It's an interesting decision if you are stacked and you're like choosing between these two. But you got to roll with Stroud. He's just been incredible.
Yeah.
He's been like the best, if not the best quarterback in the league. He's top 3. Like he's literally like on MVP level. Like I just love everything I'm seeing from Stroud.
Stroud, and I'm not even considering it.
Yeah, like weird with the Burrow injury. Like I was telling people to go of all those tier 2 quarterbacks, just to go find whichever one's the cheapest and just fire Burrow off for them because they're all kind of similar, right? You go Stroud, Lamar, Kyler, any one of those guys. You just see if you can get anyone in exchange for him. Somebody's probably tanking, so they'll probably take Burrow. But realistically, like. I just prefer Stroud straight up to Burrow and Dynasty anyways. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at with him.
13th best matchup for the Cardinals running backs. 3rd for the Texans running backs. If Pierce is out, Singletary is the one I want most in this game. If not, I think I go Connor, Singletary, Pierce, and then I don't want anyone else. I got to look at my rankings. I think I have it ranked with Pierce out. I do. So I have Singletary at 16. Actually, I have Connor at 13, Singletary at 16, and then I don't have Pierce ranked because I have Pierce as out. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, there's Pierce. All right. So I was trying to make sure if I had Pierce out or not. I do. I have Singletary at 26, and that just seems too low, honestly. Excuse me, sorry.
He's higher on mine because I have Pierce off the board completely.
Yeah, I need to adjust that. I have Connor's top 12. So like the weird thing is like he didn't really run a lot of routes last week. So hopefully
he had almost no targets. That was scary.
Yeah, they didn't I don't think a single running back got a target for the Cardinals last week, which is interesting. Because usually Kyler will check it down and feed his guys. So maybe it was a one-time thing with Kyler back, who knows. But Connor, yeah, you're confident with Connor. Like I'm confident in Singletary in this matchup too. Like I'm starting both of these guys where I have them. Just fire them up. Connor's close to the RB1, Singletary's RB2 with upside.
Middle of the pack matchup for all the receivers here. It's interesting. So we've got word that Noah Brown is out. I don't really trust Woods anyways. I don't want anything to do with Dortch. It's interesting here. Hollywood, Wilson, Moore, Dell, Collins. I'm going to look at my rankings. This one's kind of a mess for me. I could rank these 5 in any order. My highest one is Nico at 21, Tank at 22. Did I skip over Hollywood or do I have them ranked way higher? Oh, Hollywood at 20. So I 20, 21, 22 for Hollywood, Nico, Dell, and then I don't think I have anyone else ranked inside the top 40. My next highest is Michael Wilson at 48.
Yeah, so interesting enough, I have Hollywood and Tank Dell back to back at 21 and 22. I was talking about this with somebody. They were like, "What's the difference between Noah and Nico?" And I'm like, honestly, he can mimic what Nico Collins does in that offense. The difference is with Tank Dell, nobody else can do what Tank Dell does, so he makes that offense go. So he's a more important point for that offense. So I think him moving forward is like I'm just going to rank him above Nico just because how they're featuring and using him. He's irreplaceable to that offense. Like they can't. There's no one like him on offense. I get it, he's tiny, he's small, similar to Hollywood actually. But yeah, both these guys are top 24 this week. I'm fine rolling with Nico, particularly with Brown out. Like there's not much competition.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go with another Cardinals wide receiver, like I guess we go Wilson, just because he's on the field seeing all the snaps. But I'm not super confident in it this week.
The tight ends are interesting. It's a great matchup for McBride, so I have him at 6. It's a bad matchup for Schultz, but having said that, I still have Schultz at 7, so I'm starting them both. Kickers, I don't want anything to do with Prater. Amendola, it's a good matchup. I have started Amendola this week in a few leagues where I have someone on bye. He's not a terrible streamer. He was my choice for a streamer, but he's exactly that, a streamer. DSTs, I don't really want any part of this. Oh, excuse me, not feeling well. The Texans get the 10th best matchup, but that was without Kyler, so I don't want to start either. If I had to pick one, I would start the Texans. I'm not starting either because I don't want to test. I don't want to find out that Kyler's good again when I'm starting the DST against him. So
yeah, like the just no thank you defense with McBride. People should be really confident with him. He's a 28% target rate, which is second in the league. He's got 2.4 yards per out run, second in the league among tight ends, and his last 3 games when he's seen 80% of the routes, he's at 17.2 points per game. So FYI, McBride is a high-end tight end one rest of the season. So be confident.
Sorry, I got a message. It was funny. I won a jersey at the Expo back in August.
Ooh, nice.
And it was I didn't know who it was. It was autographed, but it was a Jags jersey. So I'm like, oh, who is it? Lawrence? Well, I open it up. I got bored and I decided to open it up out of the pristine wrapper. There's no certification or anything on it, so I think it's crap, but it's a legit Laviska Shenault jersey.
Oh, yes.
Who's no longer on the team. So it's signed, but to make matters worse, there's no authentication on it. And it is literally, if you Googled generic teal football jersey, this is what you would get. There's no NFL branding. There's no sticker of the size on the back. There is nothing. It is a flat, and they got it from Pristine Auction too. It is a flat out plain teal jersey with the numbers and his name, and it's signed. So he signed it. I believe it's legitimately signed, but it is like generic teal jersey.
Dude, that's pretty crazy from Pristine Auction. They're like one of the more like popular, bigger name places in the space. So the fact they're doing that sucks. Like, yeah, but I know the exact jersey you're talking about. I've seen those all the time. I'm like, yeah, you pay like $30 for those jerseys. It's just
yeah,
it is what it is.
All right, we'll get into the second last game we have here. This one's a little better, kind of. Buccaneers at 49ers. 4th best matchup for Purdy. 26th best matchup for Baker, who's been surprisingly good. I think I have him closer than I want to admit. Purdy is 13. Baker, I'm going to move up. Baker is now 15.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm going 13 and 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baker is 17. Sorry, Baker's 17. But so I have Purdy higher, but Baker's in the same range with slightly less ceiling because, I don't know, his weapons aren't that good. His offense isn't as good.
No. And we've seen Baker, it can fall apart against good defenses. So this could be a trouble matchup for Baker. He's QB 18 for me this week. I have some trepidation with him this week. So I'm not as confident as normal. And on the other side, like Purdy, the offense is back. You just roll with Purdy. He's QB 9 for me. Like you don't worry about Purdy. Like it's all back together. The gang's here.
You know what a telltale sign that you're in a hurry and you're typing too fast is? Wide receiver Jennings.
Didn't even notice.
Jennings. I don't know how many times I put Jennings here. I just like it's like when you spell Mississippi and it's like MISSISSISSI. Okay,
yeah,
there's too many ISSSS. There's too many letters here. I'm just not what.
Wait, they just gave you a Derrick Henry and a Julio Jones jersey? That's pretty dope. Like I like your neighbor. I need to be friends with him. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, mine was Laviska Shenault on the wrong team.
A little different, right?
And it was fake with no certification on it or anything.
I loved me some Laviska back in the day.
All right, so running backs. 23rd best matchup for the Bucks, 2nd worst for the 49ers. I don't care. McCaffrey's my number 1. Rashad White, I am starting as 26. And then I'm still stashing Tucker, but what?
You're just 26 for you?
Yeah, Rashad White.
That's so low. Holy crap. I have him top 6.
Yeah, you're
I know I'm on banana land. But yeah, the volume's there. This matchup sucks for him. So
I'm anti-starting anyone against the 49ers.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is your shtick. I get it. Yeah, I'll probably put him down to like QB 12 or not QB, running back 12.
I was
But
having this conversation the other day with Tyler because a couple of the guys on his show are kind of like Jack. He's the go by your gut kind of guy. I am not a go by my gut. If you've seen my choice in past spouses, you tell my gut does not work very well. I am a by the numbers spreadsheet motherfucker. So that's what I'm doing here. So when I I program in his efficiency and his metrics, blah, blah, blah. And then I combine it with the 49ers matchup here. That's how you get 26. Excuse me, I'm fading here. There's no gut feeling on White for me. It's simply the numbers. It's not
the volumes, like I'm just playing the volume. This is what I do with Mixon. Same thing. I'm just trusting the volume with him. Where like in the last 2 games, he's gotten 25 plus touches back-to-back weeks. Like he's very much the focal point of that offense. He's not good, but like, yeah, and it's Pollard, same shit. It's like you're trusting the process. Sometimes it falls apart for you with Pollard. Sometimes the way it works out. He's been a lot better lately. And yeah, he's not going to be able to run for much.
The answer to this Pollard question is both. The run scheme is terrible. The play calling is boring and bland on the run scheme, and it's just not working. But it's also Pollard was much better as the complementary back. He was better as the like Zeke was the better hammer. They're trying to use him as the bell cow, and it's not working.
Yeah, and Pollard could be trying to emulate that with how he's really like just sticking to the runs, not really breaking him out. Like he's just trusting and just going. It's been gross for Pollard. You watch the tape, it's just not.
You knew his efficiency was going to fall.
Yeah, he's just not the same player.
He gave me those for my birthday. Then he gave me nice.
Jesus Christ! I need to be best friends with your neighbor. This is awesome.
Did y'all see the report of Salah giving? That's disgusting. No, we previewed that game yesterday, so luckily we haven't had to discuss this Jets game. But yeah, it's disgusting.
I mean, they cut Carter. There's going to be someone getting more work on that offense.
I was thinking it would be Anaconda. Izzy's way better.
He is, but the thing about his problem is his vision's awful. He makes terrible decisions. So he's just a good speed guy. So like he doesn't really cut. It's just straight line speed. So he's like Tevin Coleman back in the day. But yeah, Izzy, they just can't trust him in pass protection and stuff.
Breece Hall hasn't been good lately either. So
yeah.
All right, back to the receivers. Good matchup for both. 9th best for the Bucs, 4th best for the 49ers. I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume. Oh, I was wrong. I have Evans the highest at 12, Ayuk at 14. Debo at 18, and then a bit down to Godwin at 28. And I want no part of anyone else. I actually think I'm going to change that. I like Ayuk here, but I'm an Ayuk guy. So what do you think of
this? My rankings just love Debo every week. He's number 10 for me, and I'm like fighting myself. Debo. I know. So the thing is, I love Debo, but like outside, he's getting the rushing attempts, like which is so nice to see. So it boosts his floor. But yeah, him, Ayuk, and Mike Evans are all like 6 spots with each other. So they're all like low end wide receiver 1s, high end wide receiver 2s for me in this matchup. Like Evans has just been really, really good, and Baker's just going to target him. So yeah, I'm curious where I have Godwin. He's a lot lower. He is wide receiver 27. So he like
at 28. Okay, let's see. AJ McCarron going to have. Should I trade CJ and Godwin for Jamar Chase? League mate lost Burrow and doesn't have Chase anymore. Who's CJ? Oh, Stroud. Stroud and Godwin for Chase? No.
So there's the thing with Chase is going to be in the Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams situation now where his quarterback is ass. And like he's going to get there with volume, but like you saw it last night how terrible it is with a bad quarterback.
If this is a single QB league, if this is single QB and he doesn't have a quarterback and you can afford to start someone besides Stroud, I would trade Stroud for Chase. I'm not giving Godwin in with it. Fuck that.
You want to get something back. Like
if depending on who your backup is. Oh, Herbert.
Yeah, that's fine. I would rather target someone else than Chase, particularly. I just like he's going to be a mid-range wide receiver too for me. Unfortunately, that's just
if I'm giving up Stroud and Godwin, it's for Cook, AJ Brown, AJ Brown, CD Lamb. AJ Brown, CD Lamb.
The other high-end wide receivers.
Yeah, Diggs. Yeah, that's
type stuff. Yeah,
I don't thank you.
Those guys though. In 1 QB, it's so hard to get those guys. Like. And Godwin struggled. Also, that's a problem too. So you're sending a guy that's kind of struggled this year. So
all right, let's wrap up this game. Bad matchup for Otten, who I don't really want to play this week. I've got him in the middle of tight end 2 range. Kittle, I believe it's a 13th best matchup. I have probably 6th or 7th. He's 6 for me. Otten is 16th for me. You can play them both. I far prefer Kittle. Bad matchups for both kickers. Avoid McLaughlin at all costs. Moody, you can play if you have to. Terrible matchup for the Bucs DST. I want no part of it. Low end matchup for the 49ers. I'm comfortable playing them. I'm never going to avoid a team led by Baker Mayfield. So that's how I fall on those. How about you?
Yeah, with the defenses, like I'm just lowering this 49ers this week a little bit. Like they're still really good. The Bucs offense has been even in the game against Buffalo, like they were still able to move the ball and they did well. It's just they've been good. But yeah, you can see a Baker game where he has like 3 turnovers. Like that's
I
definitely
lowered the 49ers a lot myself. They're 4.
Yeah, like they're still going to be one of the top 10 options, no doubt about it. It's easy. Like you can only lower them so much, right? There's not that many good defenses to play.
Let's close this one out with our final matchup: Bears at Lions. I think we're getting Justin Fields in this one for the 7th best matchup and Goff for the 9th best matchup. I have this one ranked Fields 11, Goff at 12. I think I prefer Goff in this one. So I now have Goff at 11 and Fields at 12. What do you think?
Yeah. It's interesting with this matchup, right? Because they offer completely different aspects. Like how Fields gets there, it's rushing. The passing's been up and down, and Goff just shreds a bad defense. So for me, with Fields coming back in week 1, I'm gonna have Goff. I have Goff like a couple spots ahead of him. But yeah, they're both top 12. Like I'm playing both these guys. Well, interestingly enough, they had Browning play yesterday, so I don't know what the McCarron thing is about that. So unless they're saying Jake Browning's that guy, but
trust me. No, he's saying AJ McCarron's the backup and AJ's going to play. I think it's Jake Browning.
It is Jake Browning. He played last night. So like unless
I know he did.
Yeah. That's why I was so confused. I was like, did he just sign or something? No. But yeah, like I prefer Goff. I just trust Goff. I don't trust this Chicago defense at all. So I think Goff's going to shred them. But Fields, like he could be QB1. That's always in his range of outcomes. So really just depends on your team build and what you're shooting for this week.
Running backs, top 12 matchup for the Lions, though they're confusing. Bad matchup here for the Bears, and they're just as confusing. I think I have Gibbs ranked highest in this because he seemed to have been the lead. I do. I have Gibbs at 9. I have Monty at 14. Next up would be a Chicago Bear somewhere. There's got to be a Bear down here. So Khalil Herbert at 36. Roshan at 46, Deonta at 48. So I have the 2 Lions about 25 spots higher than even the best Bears running back, and I'm very comfortable with that.
Yeah, I have them basically flipped where Gibbs is 11 and Monty's 16 for me. Yeah, I just trust the pass catching volume and the way Gibbs is used. Like I'll always prefer those type of guys over Monty, even though, and we saw a lot like last week. Gibbs was the lead back. He got a majority, and he even got some work down at the goal line. They said in an interview that Monty was like, "Do you want this goal line attempt?" He's like, "Yeah." So Monty said bet and just left the field, let him get a touchdown. So who knows what that is moving forward? But yeah, Chicago, good luck with this offense. Like Herbert's coming back. We don't know how involved he's going to be. Roshan's been disappointing. They still have Deonta Foreman, who's a good rusher. So it's mucky, and I would just avoid the Bears backfield if you can, because it seems like it's through by timeshare, and I want really no part of it, honestly. My highest ranked Chicago Bears running back is Deonta Foreman at 35, but you could literally put any one of the 3 there, and I would.
I have him as my lowest. That's how.
Yeah, like I just, it's more just I don't know what's going to happen with Herbert this week, so that's all I'm just worried about. So.
All right, wide receivers, 10th best matchup for the Bears, 16th best matchup for the Lions, and yet I know where this one's going to be. When I look at this is going to be St. Brown as a top 6, St. Brown at 3, then all the way down to DJ Moore at 22, and I don't have anyone even on the board, I think. Where do I have the next player on either of these receiving cores is
Mooney?
Darnell Mooney at 56, yes. Josh Reynolds at 60. So you have a top 5 receiver and probably a wide receiver too, and nobody else.
Yeah, if you look at how DJ Moore's season has gone, he's had some mega boom games and then really disappointing. He's getting Fields back, so it's actually a good thing for him. So thankfully, he doesn't have to deal with the Tyson Bagent, aka T-Bag experience anymore. So he'll be okay. He'll be a wide receiver too for me. Yeah. The Sun God is top 6. That's what he is. Like he's the Sun God, and we love him. So yeah, we start him every week. And if you really want to fire somebody up, Mooney, I guess, because the matchup's good. But like, I really don't want to play any other wide receiver. He's my wide receiver 45 or something. Let me check. Where is he? No, sorry, 49. That's my next highest wide receiver in this matchup. So he's
All right. So top 10 matchup for both. 4th best for the Lions Ninth best for the Bears at tight end. Having said that, I have Laporta at 4, Komet at 11. I'm comfy playing them both as top 12. Fifth best matchup for Riley Patterson. I will start him. 26th best for Santos. I am not touching him. Bears DST, terrible matchup. Don't play him. Third best matchup for the Lions. They are probably creeping into my. Oh, I know the answer to this. Where did I have the Detroit Lions this week?
Probably pretty high, I would assume. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I'll say top 8. 1? No. What? Oh, baby. Woo! I was like looking at my rankings and I was like, maybe I want
that. Maybe it's going to be moved down because as I look at it, I have Dallas at 2 against Carolina, and I prefer Dallas.
Yeah, I do too. I was like, yeah, I mean, I get it, man. The Fields experience is just all over the place. You don't know what you're going to get. I just, with these high upside quarterbacks, if they hit their ceiling, that's the only thing that works.
Well, they can't stop rushing quarterbacks either, the Lions.
Yeah, so that's that problem too.
So they got moved down to 2, but
yeah, it's a good matchup. Like, you can't fade them too low. Like, it's just, they're just good. And then, like, on the tight ends, yeah, Laporta is awesome. He's top. He's below. He's number 5. I have McBride above him of the rookies, but it's like those two guys are locked in. And Komet's been good. I was just wrong about Komet, honestly. Like, I'll just admit it. I want no part of Komet, but he's been their second best, like, offensive player, really. So, yeah. You got fire up Komet, top 12.
Scary. All right. Well, that concludes the NFL Week 11 Fantasy Football NFC Home Game Preview. For Aaron and Jesse, thank you for tuning in to the Mad Science Lab podcast. Check back with us on Wednesday. No, sorry. What day is today? Friday. Sorry. It's a PA day here, so my schedule is all off. Check back with us Sunday at noon going into kickoff for our live sit start show. If I could, I've got a kid in the background and I'm all over the place, man.
You're good.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time, guys.
See you, folks.